Alright YouTube, we're back with another video. We just picked this up from Delta Cargo Airport today, and we're going to start opening it right now. Per usual, the red box, the zip ties, the markings on the box lets you know it's venomous, so you do want to be careful when you open these. And I haven't peeked inside yet, so we're going to open these up together. I need to get clippers or cutters. These scissors do the job, but as you can see, it is not easy cutting with these. These are most definitely, not probably, these are most definitely my favorite snakes out of any of the snakes I've ever seen, especially out of any of the snakes I have. You know, since we started getting into venomous, we are definitely diving into it head first. You know, we started small, quick, and now we're already at this stage, which is pretty sweet. All right, so inside this box should be another box, and they should be bagged or in a container, but you never know. You know, you can never know. These animals could get out, whatever it may be. So it's always safe to be safe than sorry. So we'll pop her open. Let me see, where do we got this little dude? Oh, not even bagged. Sweet. Holy moly. They're just babies. All right, so I'm gonna put the camera right above it, get a better view of the snakes. And all right, with the lid off, this is my perspective of how I open up most snakes. So we'll try to give you guys that experience. So you can see the red tape around the containers. These things are way smaller than I thought. We got one. Look at how pretty these snakes are. They're so pretty. Sorry, I'm trying to get the good angle for the camera. So we got one here. And then we got two. She's a little bigger. So this is a pair here of Rhino Vipers. And you can see here. So 1.0 is a male. He's definitely smaller. The head and the girth around the body. 0.1 is the female. And you can tell most snakes, generally speaking, the female will be larger. So you see how girthy her body is and how much bigger in comparison her heads are. Okay. So now these snakes, they have cytotoxic venom. Their venom is cytotoxic and hemotoxic. So if you get bit by one of these, it's going to do a lot of damage. That's the last thing you want, is to get bit by this. Your liver will fail, your kidneys, severe damage to all your tissue, your blood cells. It'll shut organs down. This is like, don't get bit by these. Just look how pretty they are. And just to be clear, this is an unrelated pair too. So male, female, non-related. Very good to come across these. They are a lot smaller and they are pretty young. So we will have a few years before we can breed them. But that's all right. These snakes are just some of the prettiest snakes. And you can see they're very famous. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. They're very famous. They have horns on their snouts. The camera's really not doing a good job with the camera angle. So they have horns on their snouts, which is pretty cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up their enclosures for now. They're just gonna be inside these tubs until I get them cages. Unfortunately, cages got here, or they got here before the cages did. So we'll give them a little temporarily set up in this rack I have until their forever homes come in. Do we want to do first? We'll do the male first since he's kind of looking out. Seems like he wants to get out of here. Oop. Always, especially these animals, they're known for being kind of almost docile. They're not really striking unless if it's more defensive for them. Same thing with the gaboons, but they strike so fast that you don't want to get complacent with these animals. You don't want to give them the chance to bite you, because if you get bit, it will not be good. So, we'll pop the container up. Give them a little small hook. And now listen to their hiss. Their hiss is pretty cool. I know, buddy, it's okay. So look, you see he's not real striky. He only started hissing because I started messing with him. And it's most animals, you know, they're not gonna bite you because they want to bite you. They're gonna bite you because you're doing something that they don't like. Okay? And you will see people build relationships with them where they hold them. You see some people drinking water out of their hands. It's kind of crazy. But to each their own. I'm gonna show these animals the most respect I can because I do not want to get bit with these things. As cool as it would be to hold this, the risk to reward is not worth it. It's not there. But look how pretty these snakes are. So I got these cool leaves. I was actually gonna buy Gaboon Vipers. So I bought these leaves for them. It's actually for Gaboon Vipers. I was gonna buy Gaboons instead of these. And we'll throw these leaves in there and see how they look with them. Now how he's going to react to me putting these in, we'll see. I don't get that many. Yeah, maybe there's a lot in here. Kind of just, don't want to get my hand too close to him. But look. All right, his temporary home until they come in. This is going to be set up for a couple days. And that's that. The Rhino Viper. My favorite snake in the world. Located from Africa. And their colors are just crazy. I don't know if the camera's picking it up too good. But it's red, blue, yellow. It's pretty amazing. So we got the male situated. I got the current rack. Unfortunately, they are going in the rack. And where the slot I'm putting them in hasn't been used yet. So it's going to take a second to heat up. But this is his home. And off he goes. Now we'll do the female. The female. She's so much thicker and bigger. It's pretty cool actually. And you can see, look, my hand is really close to her. She's kind of unsure what's going on, and she's not striking. She like has no intent to hurt me. But once you start touching them and you start moving them around, then they kind of don't like that. And I cannot get that started. She's definitely checking me out. You can see her looking at my hands. They'll let you know when you're doing something too much. And if you can't tell by then to stop, you might get bit. Oop. Alrighty, sorry about that kind of pause there, some work stuff. Back to the snakes. Look how pretty the female Rhino Viper is. So now real quick, let's see, the male's kind of sitting at the front. I want to give you guys a quick demonstration. I didn't bring it up earlier. But if we look at the two, I don't know how good the camera's picking it up or if it's picking it up at all. You can see here on the male's tail, I'll just cover her real quick with the male. You can see the male's tail is pretty long, right? The way you really sex most venomous snakes is you probe them, and depending on the depth of the probe, you can determine male or female. With some species, you can look at them and determine male or female. So for example here, you can see how long and thin the male's tail is, right? Now if you look on the female, you can see how her tail is shorter with the girth, so it's really thick towards the bottom of the tail, as to where the male's tail thins out way before the end of his tail. So that's a quick way to determine male female. Most people don't know those things, and that's pretty interesting to know. So we'll slide him back in there. Now you're gonna see again the female, she's calm, relaxed. The second I start poking her, she's probably gonna hiss, get a little agitated. It's okay, girl. Oh yeah, check it out. Look at how pretty that snake is. Now, when I purchased them, the guy said they were in shed, so they may possibly be in shed still. I'm not sure if he meant as they were shedded out. They're like at what part, you know. So if they're still in shed, if they shed out, their colors will be so much more brighter. The reds here will be a very strong red, along the yellows. It looks kind of white. Those are actually a light blue. So these things get really colorful, which makes them really pretty. Hence why everyone loves them. So, with that being said, long story short, we had the camera die multiple times. So we got the Rhino Vipers in their situation home. So pretty much are going to stay in these tubs until we get the tanks for them. And they are all situated pretty good. So this is the male. He's smaller in size and he's a lot more relaxed than the female. So we'll go ahead and slide him in. And then with the female, we'll use the hook to open her up because she is a little feisty. You see her breathing like that to make herself bigger. We don't want to stress them out too much, but this is the current situation. You need to see how pretty they are. So they'll stay in these tubs until their new tanks come in. The tanks aren't here yet. But that's it. Rhino Vipers flown in, unboxed, and situated. So that'll be the end of the video. Mass Constrictors out.